Hello all of my fabulous fashionistas, welcome back to my channel. I'm Amber Westbrook and today I'm going to show you how I took $3 only and made 2 shirts and an outfit. So if you're wondering how I did it all for $3, then keep on watching. If you're new to my channel, then welcome! I'm so happy that you're here. Before we begin, why don't you go ahead and subscribe so that you can catch more tips and tricks like this. I upload twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload from me. And with that, let's get into it. How I made 3 things for $3. Before I did anything else, I made a pattern from a t-shirt. Now, I've made a lot of t-shirt things before, but this time I decided that I would like a pattern to go back to as I do more and more so that they're all the same and I don't have to keep grabbing the same t-shirt. So basically, I just traced around the body of the t-shirt, marked where the neckline was, and then I also traced out the sleeve. Except for the fold of the sleeve, I added a 1/2-inch seam allowance around the entire shirt and sleeves so that I can cut it out and sew it without it being too small. I also have a tutorial on how to make a t-shirt from scratch, so if you're interested in that, I will link it below. I'm just going to true up all the lines I just drew with my curved rulers and my straight ruler. I got these rulers on Amazon and they just make accuracy so much better. What I have found after drafting a whole bunch of patterns is that it's much easier to cut and sew when all of your corners are near 90 degrees. If you look, you'll see that one of these lines that I made right here is a little bit changed because I wanted it to be closer to 90 degrees because this will make it easier to sew and cut. It's not going to have a weird wonky point. Once your patterns are cut, we're ready to move on to the first project. So everything in this video I got from the dollar store. So this is a big baggy men's shirt that I got. And my first project today is making this into a t-shirt that fits me super well. I'm going to start by folding it in half and placing my pattern that I just made on top of it. Then I'm going to mark around that whole outline with chalk. I'm extending the hem all the way down to the actual hem so that it can be extra long and also I don't have to re-sew the hemline, and then I'll cut it out along that chalk line. I'm actually going to use the same sleeves on the shirt for my actual sleeves, and I'm going to use that same hemline as well. So I line it up with the fold and then I'm going to draw in almost a 90-degree angle right there and then around the top of the big curve. Then I'm going to cut these pieces out as well. Then I'm going to open up the piece of the shirt that I just cut and I'm going to lay it out flat, and I'm going to match up the top of the sleeve with the shoulder seam. And I'm going to pin all the way around and then sew that. You can either sew this with a serger, which is what I'm doing, or you can sew with a zigzag stitch along this edge. Then all I have to do once both sleeves are sewn is flip it right sides together so all of the right sides are inside, and I'm going to sew all the way down the sleeve from the underarm all the way down to the hem. So if you remember, this was the before. This was a $1 t-shirt, you guys. So yeah, I feel pretty good about this. And this is the final result. Now this looks so much better. It fits me really well. It's super feminine, and for $1, I think I did really well. So this is my second shirt. I picked this one up from the dollar store as well. So my grand total is $2 now. And let's see what we can do with this one. I'm going to use that same pattern that I used before on my folded shirt, but this time I'm going to fold back the pattern so that we're going to make it into a crop top. So I folded it just below the curve of the waist, and I'm going to mark this with chalk and cut it out just like with the first shirt. For the sleeve, because the width of the sleeve is actually pretty good, I'm going to leave it in its full circle and I'm just going to cut out the bell curve. Then with right sides together, I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to sew down the sides of the top first, as well as create the new hem. I'm doing this on my finishing machine, but you can either use a double needle on your regular machine or just a plain zigzag stitch as well. Next, I'm going to make sure that my sleeves are right sides out and the shirt is inside out, and I'm going to put the sleeve inside with all the raw edges facing to the left. Then I'm going to match up the armpits and I'm going to pin it, and then I'm going to match up the top cap of the sleeve with the shoulder, and I'm going to pin that as well, and then add a few more pins all the way around and sew it all the way around the loop, and I'm going to do this for both sleeves. Now this one is done too, so let me give you a little reminder of what this looked like before. Big and baggy and ill-fitting and only $1. And now it is so cute. It fits really well. It's a cute little crop t-shirt. You can literally wear it with anything. I have to say, this has been 2 for 2. The last project we're going to work on was also from the dollar store. It's this extra large t-shirt, which is, in my opinion, not cute. I'm gonna make it into a 2-piece, super cute matching sportswear set. So I'm going to fold this shirt in half just like I did with the other two, and I'm going to use my same pattern, but this time I'm going to fold it up a little bit more than even the last crop top so I can leave room for elastic on the bottom. Then I'm going to mark it with chalk and cut it out just like I did with the other two. I'm going to do the exact same thing on the sleeves as I did with the first shirt. I'm just going to mark it up and cut it out. Then, just like the first example, I'm going to match up the sleeves at the shoulders and I'm going to pin it all the way around and sew on both sleeves. Then flip it right sides together and sew down both sides, but this time I'm not going to hem it. I'm going to use a piece of 1-inch elastic that I had and I chose black. I cut this elastic to be slightly shorter than the bottom hem of my shirt. Then I folded over one end of the elastic and sewed it with a zigzag stitch into a loop. Then I'm going to pin the elastic all the way around my shirt with the elastic on the outside so that the raw edges are hidden, and I'm going to pin it evenly around the whole thing and sew it with a zigzag stitch. For the bottoms, I'm using the same pattern that I created when I made my velvet shorts, so if you want to know how to make this pattern, then check that video out, and I'll link that in the description. But I'm going to overlap these two patterns so that my side seams are matching up at the top and bottom, and the bottom hem is the bottom of the shirt, and then I'm just going to trace around this whole thing with chalk and cut it out. Then I'm going to flip those two pieces so that they're right sides together, and I'm going to sew along the curved edge on both sides. Once I've sewn that curve, I'm going to flip it to the side so that the curves are in the center. I'm going to straighten out that bottom seam and sew across, matching up my crotch seam. My last step of this project is to add elastic to the top of these pants the exact same way that I added to the top of this shirt. And that is it. So this is the shirt before. As you can see, it's still too huge and still $1. I know it was a couple cents more than $1 just because of the elastic, but I think it turned out so cute. And matching sets are all the rage right now, so this is the perfect addition to my wardrobe. I can even mix and match these two pieces with other things from my wardrobe and still look fabulous. And I did it all for $3. So that is it. That is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, my fabulous fashionistas, I love you, never stop creating, and never ever stop smiling.